At AEW's Revolution 2021, Maki Itoh came out to the Jacksonville crowd as Dr. Britt Baker's mystery partner, and this was to massive fanfare as the venue erupted at the sight of Maki, and online the internet was going haywire over her arrival in AEW. Some people even say that she got a bigger pop than Christian Cage. Basically, the wrestling community was like this.
Huh? Who's that?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Some people thought she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and some people wanted her as far away from AEW as possible, like Jim Cornette. So in this way, she proved to be a polarizing figure. Although several months down the line, on Instagram Live, she expressed that she's gotten no offers from AEW or WWE, and this was quite shocking considering how popular she is, but I have a funny feeling that it's only a matter of time and that Maki Itoh will be All Elite soon, and she'll be a huge success in AEW. Before I let you know the reasons of why she'll succeed in AEW, I'm not gonna get too much into her backstory, as Joshizzle made an excellent video on her backstory. Check out Joshizzle's video after you've watched my video. But basically, you need to know some fundamental things about Maki Itoh so that we can apply them in an AEW context to gauge the likelihood of her succeeding in an AEW environment. Maki Itoh is basically a fired idol. An idol in the Japanese context is a sort of pop singer or entertainer, and these idols are put into these big idol groups in the hopes that they sell a lot of music, tickets to shows, or merchandise. Maki Itoh was fired from her idol group because she wasn't attractive enough, and this damaged her a lot and led her to being a sort of anti-idol. Now that you know her backstory and her surface, the first reason as to why Maki Itoh will flourish and succeed in AEW, and probably the most important reason, is because she'll be able to make an emotional connection to the fans through her character. On the surface, it seems like Maki Itoh is just this vain, bitter ex-idol who's primarily concerned about herself and no one else, but there are nuances to her character that explain exactly why she is the way that she is. For Maki Itoh, life is pain.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
She did not attend high school because she failed her entrance exams. She failed at her dream of becoming a manga artist, which for those who don't know is a sort of comic book artist. And she also failed at her dream of becoming an idol, and this hurt her the most. She's taken so many L's in the past that she might as well be Sean Spears, if you know what I mean.
Some men were born to be buried.
In her mind, she failed at everything else, so it's only a matter of time till she fails at pro wrestling. She even lost her very first match on the biggest stage she's ever been on in AEW, in the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament, even though she was the favorite to win the whole competition. At first, I must admit that I was mad that she lost, but then it hit me. This is Maki Itoh, and all she knows is suffering. Maki Itoh also has a crippling fear of failure that has manifested into her character in pro wrestling. She's an emotional wreck that openly cries in the ring if something doesn't go right in her matches. This crippling fear of failure does more harm to her than good, and she's been so hurt by her past as an idol that she has a lot of self-doubt. And she needs the approval from fans to confirm she's the cutest, or else she implodes. And that's why she asks the crowd who's the cutest in the world almost every match.
Now they get it.
Maki Itoh's constant suffering is one aspect of her character that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people suffer from self-doubt and have a fear of failure, and in this way, Maki Itoh can make an emotional connection with the AEW faithful. Despite Maki's hardened exterior, at the crux of everything, Maki Itoh is just a massive softie. Now, I'm gonna read you some of the English translated lyrics from her entrance song, Brooklyn the Whole. The whole song in general has a deep undertone, but I'll read you a small section from the song. But to tell the truth, I'm lonely. I want to feel love. I want to escape this despair, praying for a peaceful tomorrow with a shotgun in my right hand. Oh, chasing after freedom. Oh, wanting someone to hold me tight. Oh, I'll be searching for true love. Oh, Brooklyn the Whole. This song really shows how sensitive Maki Itoh really is, and it shows that she's an insecure person trying to make her way in the big bad world, just like the rest of us. One thing that Maki Itoh does have though is fighting spirit, and a lot of people admire her for this. Maki Itoh gives everything that she's got, and Maki is inspirational in many ways because her story is the story of failing over and over again, but deciding to pick yourself up every single time. It's a story of not being the best at something, but deciding that you're gonna do everything in your power to make sure that you succeed. It's a story of failing at your dreams and accepting that and deciding to press on and live for a better tomorrow. In this way, Maki Itoh is kind of just like all of us, and this makes her a perfect underdog. And that's why it was so satisfying to see Maki Itoh to win the Princess Cup in Tokyo Joshi Pro, which is a sort of knockouts tournament with the winner receiving a shot at the top belt of Tokyo Joshi Pro. And just like that, the stars were aligning. It was Maki Itoh's time, but unfortunately the curse of Maki Itoh rang true again. She lost her match for the top belt of Tokyo Joshi Pro against Miyu Yamashita. But this is not the end of her story, as she can still get a happy ending in AEW. Maki Itoh has serious babyface potential because we can all kind of see ourselves in her, and that's why the AEW faithful will gravitate towards her and she will flourish and succeed in AEW. The second reason as to why Maki Itoh will flourish in AEW is because she's a massive draw and she has a lot of simps. Earlier in 2021, Maki Itoh was the #1 seller on ProWrestlingTees.com, outselling all the AEW shirts that were on sale on Pro Wrestling Tees. And this is especially impressive considering that she did this all the way from Japan. And this proves that she's a massive draw and a lot of people care about her enough to buy her merchandise. And if Tony Khan's a smart businessman, he'll pick her up in an instant. Because if Maki Itoh is marketed right, she could be a money machine. Maki Itoh is basically a merch freak. Maki Itoh has a lot of sims that enable her high merchandise sales. And just for the record, I'm totally not a Maki Itoh simp. Okay, I lied. I'm a massive Maki Itoh simp. I mean, how could you not simp for Maki? She's literally the cutest in the world. And this is a scientifically proven fact. Don't ask me how though. And oh, just by you watching this video, you're a simp now. Congratulations. Welcome to the Maki Itoh simp army.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP! Simp!
The third reason as to why Maki Itoh will succeed and flourish in AEW is because of her moveset and her comedy skills. Maki Itoh's promos are comedy gold. Just imagine she cuts a promo like this live on AEW Dynamite while over 1 million people are watching.
Martinez vagina? Not a good smell. Yes, so ちょっと sick.
Maki Itoh's promos are just hilarious. Maki Itoh constantly swears and makes tons of sex jokes and points the middle finger at anything and everything. She constantly mocks her opponents and is rude to them. She's selfish and she wants all the spotlight on her due to her past as being an idol. And she's willing to do anything in order to succeed and advance her agenda. An example of this was on AEW Dynamite when Maki Itoh continued to sing and dance despite her teammates getting beat up. Maki Itoh has to get her in, and she's willing to do anything, and I mean anything, in order to win. And this includes biting her opponents. I mean, what kind of psychopath does that? Maki Itoh constantly plays tricks on her opponents and is very devious. She also has an air of superficiality to her, as in her mind, you might be a better wrestler than her, but she's the cutest, and that's what really matters. And watching this in real time is just so entertaining and funny, and the AEW audience will eat this up quicker than Cody Rhodes' blades in a big match. Maki Itoh also has the hardest head in the world, and this is a proven scientific fact. In her idol days, Maki Itoh was actually told that her head and face was too big, and she got surgery to make her face smaller, but nobody noticed. Yikes! And ever since then, she's used a myriad of head-based moves because of her hard, big head. And the best one of these moves is the Kokeshi. The Kokeshi is sort of a standing diving headbutt, and this is when her opponent is laying down in the middle of the ring on their back, and Maki Itoh runs the ropes, stops with a poker face, and drops her stone head onto her opponent's abdomen. And watching this in real time is...
It's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment today!
Maki Itoh's Kokeshi can really pop a crowd, and the AEW audience will eat it up quicker than Cody Rhodes cries during a promo. As it's one of those moves like the Rocks People's Elbow that doesn't make much sense, but it gets the people going, and that's what matters.
It's not as gets the people going!
Maki Itoh also has an hilarious Twitter account, so don't be surprised if Maki Itoh calls your favorite wrestler a simp, because odds are they are a simp for Maki Itoh. They just won't admit it. Also, don't be surprised if Maki Itoh wants to kick you in the nuts, and don't be surprised if you see Maki Itoh ending people on Twitter. But seriously though, the amount of interactions that she gets on Twitter is quite astounding and could bring some good publicity to AEW. And the online AEW community will eat this up quicker than Cody Rhodes buries up and coming talent. She also used to do this New Words Learned series where the new words that she learned were crude sexual words. And Maki Itoh's new words that she learned kinda left you asking yourself,
how the f you know that, bro?
But to be completely honest, Maki Itoh gets a lot of flack for her in-ring work. Despite what people on the internet who've never watched her previous work before AEW will tell you, she's actually very good in the ring, even though she's no Kenny Omega or Bryan Danielson in the ring. And what she brings to the table is so much more. She brings genuine character, which is something a lot of wrestlers lack today. And if Tony Khan's a smart businessman, he'll make Maki Itoh All Elite very, very soon. Thank you for watching the video. Do you want to see Maki Itoh in AEW? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. But anyway, goodbye.